So today I wanted to talk a little bit about my my background. Some of you who've been following me for a while know where I started out, and those of you who are new, which is quite a lot of you, I wanted to share a little bit about how yoga for me has been part of my journey from a corporate world into the work that I do now, and how you can actually combine the two. So I used to work in a digital marketing company. I worked my way up in sales to being in charge of an operations department, which was a super stressful job. Lots of people, lots of stuff going on, lots of changes, lots of targets, and I found it really, really, really stressful. And it was during my time there that I uncovered yoga and all of the aspects within it that helped me to really manage my stress. And ultimately, what I decided to do was leave that job 3 years ago, actually, and make the transition to the life that I'm living now and the job that I have now, which is, using yoga to teach and support people, coaching people, to find their own sense of balance. And I think sometimes when you're having like a really stressful job, you think that maybe I should quit my job and become a yoga teacher or something else, whatever it is. And sometimes that is the route, that is the path, and that was the decision for me that I am very, very happy that I made. But there is somewhere in between where actually your job and your life circumstances, because it doesn't always have to be your job, we experience stress in all kind of areas of our life. We do have the ability to find tools to manage that stress. Now, always that it's very personal, and actually you might find you get all the tools to manage your stress, but you're still not happy. That may mean that you need to change your external circumstances. But a lot of the time it is an internal job that helps you to establish whether you should be changing the external circumstances. And so my experience in that role, I uncovered yoga as a tool in a different way than I'd used it before. So I'd always used yoga physically. And then I found that mentally it really helped me to start to become a little bit more grounded and kind of slow everything down. So today I was actually in a business. They were kicking off a training day for people who have quite a high stress job. And so we started with a 20-minute mindfulness exercise. And I was talking about this idea of kind of bringing together your mind, your body and your breath. So if you think about the idea that most of the time your body is doing something, whatever it is, your mind is elsewhere thinking about what you're going to do next, or how you're going to plan your dinner, or whatever's happening that you're stressed about, and your breath is just doing its own thing, probably inefficiently. Our normal default breathing, because of the tension we hold in our body, is often not that efficient. And so this kind of mindfulness exercise, and I've been using it in some of my classes and with some of my clients this week, was to try and draw the three back together again. And so you're trying to bring your mind, your body and your breath all into the same place at the same time. And it might sound simple enough, but you can find that it's one of those things that needs practice. And the idea being that when you start to draw the three together, everything just slows down a little bit. And this can be a really useful tool to use when you feel you're most stressed. And it always sounds quite paradoxical. You're at your limit, you're super stressed, you've got so much to do. That is the time where you need to stop, drop it, and take maybe just a minute. Just a minute. And I can guarantee that when you come back, you'll get a better sense of clarity, you'll be more efficient, and more than anything, you'll feel less burdened, it just feels quite intense sometimes. By dropping it and walking away, even if it's just for a moment. And what you do is you kind of draw everything back in, so you can use tools and techniques to draw your attention to your breath, to your body, and allowing this idea of whatever's going on in your mind to kind of drift out into the background. And you will find there's always a backwards and forwards, you keep getting pulled back out. But this isn't a process of getting it perfect or getting it right, or even giving yourself a hard time for not doing it properly. Instead, it is a process of just keep coming back. Without any stress, without any drama, just, oh, okay, yep, gone off again, let's come back. And through practicing this over time, you're essentially rewiring your brain so that rather than it being doing a million things a million times, multitasking like crazy, you're able to slow everything down, draw it back in, and you'll become more efficient, more effective, and everything just feels a little bit easier. So I'll be sharing over the next few weeks and months different tips and tools, exercises that you can do at home or at work. My thing that I used to do was I used to hide in the toilet and do some of these things, because that was the only time I would get space away from people wanting to ask me questions or needing help with projects and things like that. So you can do it anywhere you like. And I also recently have had the book that I've contributed to, The Silent Scream, has been published. So I wrote a piece for this book which was all about my journey out of the corporate world and into the world I'm in now, and the job that I love so much, and what kind of drove me to that change. For me, it was all about the expectations of what I should be doing. There's a big piece about the shoulds. And so I've written about that and shared that story in the hope that it can inspire people who feel like they should be doing certain things. In particular, around the time when I made these changes in my late 20s, it's a time where you feel like there's a lot of pressure to be doing certain things. You should be a certain place, you should be a certain place in your career, you should be getting married or should be having children, you should own a house. All these things and these expectations that society imposes on us, and we too impose on ourselves. And the process of how I started to pull away from that and really get to understand what I actually wanted. And I would be lying if I said it was an easy 3 years to get to the point I'm at now, but it was so very worth it. And I would like to be able to share the tools and the process that I've used, different things that have worked for me, that have worked for my clients as well, so that you can get to a place where you truly understand what you want, not necessarily what you think you should want. And through that, you can work out, is the job and the situation you're in where you want to be? You just need better tools to manage it. Or is it actually that you want to be doing something different? You just don't know how to get there. So I invite you to go and buy the book if you would like to on Amazon or Waterstones. I'll pop the link down below. And if you're interested in working with me, either come into a yoga class, come into the events that I do, maybe following me on YouTube or keeping up to date on social media, or whether you'd like to work one-to-one with me, I offer a combination of coaching, counselling skills, combined with all the aspects of yoga, whether it's physical movement, breathing, meditation, mindfulness, so that you can start to build your own toolkit to really understand yourself, what you need, what you want, and how you can manage life when it gets a little bit stressful, as it does in all walks of life, no matter what your job or what you do day to day. So I invite you to get in touch.